येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Sri Harinam Chintamani seminars, Saturday and Sunday morning. Last Sunday, somehow we could not have the class because of the hectic Janmashtami schedule. So I think last Saturday and Sunday we could not have. And previous to that, only we had one Saturday and could not have on the Sunday. So it was a long break, I guess. So we have been discussing the subject, which is Shruti Shastra Nimba, and somewhere at text 55 we should continue our discussion. But I thought it is wise that we just have a recap. Basically, in this chapter, how does one come about criticizing the Vedic scriptures is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur philosophically explains. He goes on to explain how the Shrutis, Vedas, Upanishads all manifest from the Lord. And the Vedas especially deal with the transcendental world, which is beyond the material world. And these material senses, which have these four defects, they cannot perceive anything about the transcendental reality. And that is why Vedas are the path for us to understand our spiritual goal. And what the Vedas teach is what is called as Amnaya. Amnaya is another name for the Vedas. And they teach these Dasha Mula Tattva. And in fact, if you remember, we had an entire class on what are these Dashamula Tattva. So major discussion up till practically the 10 subjects of Dashamula Tattva. We had an elaborate discussion. Goes on practically till text 29. So till text 29, Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about the Dashamula Tattva, in which one is Amnaya, that is Praman, and Pramay are 9. In that 7 are Sambandh, one is Abhidheya, one is Prayojan. So that is about the Dashamula Tattva. Just a second. So that is about the Dashamula Tattva. Then, where do we commit offense? To criticize the teachings of the scriptures is a offense. So to criticize these teachings, the teachings of the Dashamula Tattva, that is an offense to the holy name. And these 10 truths are taught by the spiritual masters. So one should learn these 10 truths. So this is how he deals first with the criticizing of Shruti. Then he comes to these 6 darshans, the Shad Darshan. And all these darshans, although they are astic, but still they don't give the actual conclusions of the Vedas. So one who prescribes to all these different darshans actually commits offenses to the Shastra, and especially text 40 to 45 dealt with the darshan of Mayavad. So this is again a second way where we commit offense to the Shastra, when we interpret the Shastra or we subscribe to false philosophies which don't give the true conclusion of the Vedas. So that is also Shruti Shastra Nindan. And the third way how we commit offense to the Shastra is when we don't interpret the Shastras through Abhidhavritti. Abhidhavritti is the Mukhya Vritti, and take everything in the form of Gauna Vritti. So in this context, we had an elaborate one class on what is Mukhya Vritti and Gauna Vritti. And the scriptures speak about the sacred syllable Om, which refers to the transcendental Mahavakya, which is referring to Krishna. And the Vedas, who don't understand these teachings and criticize, they commit an offense. So this is how ultimately Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about the Vedic teaching to chant the holy names of Krishna, by which we can get Krishna Prem. And here is where we stopped our discussion, that the Vedas, the great liberated souls, chant the holy name in Uccha Swara. This is the teaching of the Vedas. So now we will continue. There is a few more verses in this chapter. We'll continue our discussion from text 55 onwards. 55 to 57 speak about how the Tamasa Tantras, scriptures of darkness and ignorance, oppose the Vedas. Now, the Tantra Shastras, they are divided into two, Tamasa and Rajasa, not Rajasa, Satvika. The Sattvic Tantras, or sometimes it is called as the left Tantra and the right Tantra. Now the left Tantra, I don't recollect, I think it is the left Tantra, especially referring to the Tamasa Tantra, where there are specific activities which are done in deep ignorance for certain goals like destroying someone, killing someone. So like that, there are many kinds of tamasic tantras, especially the left tantra. The right tantra, I guess, is dealing with deity worship, and that is transcendental. But the tamasa tantras also oppose the Vedas. So this is a theme Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to discuss now. Kali Yuge Mahajana Maya Shakti Bhaje Chedatma Purusha Krishna Namar Satyaje. In Kali Yuga, even famous influential persons reject the nectar of the supreme spiritual supreme personality of God and Krishna's holy name, and instead worship the Maya Shakti. Kali Yuga, Mahajana, the great influential persons, Maya Shakti Bhaje, they worship Maya Shakti, Chidatma Purusha Krishna, the spiritual supreme personality of Krishna, Nama Rasa Tyaje, they reject the nectar of the Nama Ras. Tamasika Tantra Dhara Shruti Ninda Kare Madhyamam Sa Priti Kare Adharmate Mare. Following the Tamasa Tantras, they criticize the Vedas, fond of women and flesh, wine and flesh. They perish because of their sins. So here is another interesting explanation Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving, that just a minute, I'll change the net connection because it is unstable. Okay, sorry. So those who follow these Tamasa Tantras, they criticize the Vedas and they perish because of their sins. Sei Saba Nindoka Nahi Paye Krishna Nam Kabu Nahi Paye Krishna Vrindavadab. These offenders do not attain the shelter of Lord Krishna's holy name, and they do not attain Lord Krishna's abode of Vrindavan. These offenders, they don't attain Krishna's holy name. Now, the reason why this happens, Bhaktivinoda Thakur deals in text 58 to 62. Maya Devira Nishkapada Kripa Oi Prayojan. They need Maya Devi's sincere mercy. So those who worship Maya Devi, they are offenders and they perish and they don't get the shelter of Krishna's name and Krishna's abode. They don't get. So how one can attain Maya Devi's sincere mercy? Nishkapata Kripa, how they can attain. So this theme is there from text 58 to 62. Maya Devi se saba pashanda adogati diyanam amrita aranahi denamati. The Mayavadis are all offenders destined to fall down. Maya Devi se saba pashanda adogati. Therefore, Maya Devi is not inclined to give them the nectar of the holy name. Because they are offenders, Maya Devi doesn't give them the Diya Namamrit Na or Nahi Dena Mati. So they don't, Maya Devi doesn't give them the mercy of the holy name. Tabe Yadi Sadhu Sevaya Tushta Hana Maya Akapate Dena Tabe Krishna Pada Chaya. However, if she is pleased by their service to a saintly devotee, then she may, without tricking them, give the shade of Krishna's lotus feet. So such worshippers of Maya Devi, if they perform some sincere service to the saintly devotee, then she will, without tricking them, she will give them the shade of Krishna's lotus feet. Now, anyone knows any Shastric example of how a Maya Devi worshipper got the mercy of a saint and ultimately attained the mercy of Maya Devi, by which he became a pure devotee of Krishna? Does anyone know any examples from the Shastra? Does anyone have any idea? Can raise their hands. Any example from the Shastra? Okay, so there is one example of Chandidas. Chandidas was a great devotee of Maya Devi, Durga. His name was also Chandidas. And Chandidas every day used to worship Durga Devi, Maya Devi, or Kali Devi. And his brother was a great pure Vaishnava. And this Chandidas had a garden, beautiful garden at his home, where he used to grow flowers for Chandidas to offer it to Chandidas. And somehow he was averse to his brother and averse to devotional service also, to Vishnu. But one time it so happened that his brother saw in the beautiful garden a flower, and in his mind he offered this flower to Lord Krishna. And Chandidas somehow picked up that same flower and went to offer it to Maya Devi or Kali Devi. When Kali Devi received the Maha offered flower to her Swami, that is Krishna, she was very pleased. And she spoke. And she said, I am very, very pleased with you. Now Chandidas said, every day I get flowers to you. You never spoke to me, but today why are you speaking to me? So Kali Devi replied, the deity replied, saying that today you have got the Mahaprasad flower offered to my Lord Krishna. That is why I am very pleased. Actually, this flower was offered in the mind by a brother who is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. And you have got that Maha flower. So immediately Chandidas realized, oh, your master is also Krishna. Then I should worship Krishna. So this is how he instructed, Kali Devi instructed him to worship Krishna. So he got akapatam. Akapatam, it is nishkapat, mercy of Durga Devi or Kali Devi, because of some slight service he performed. That is, he offered the flower which was offered in the mind by his brother, who was a great devotee of Vishnu. And so easily she got pleased. And Chandidas became a great poet who glorified Krishna, and especially Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, Madhurya pastimes. And he retained his name as Chandidas. And Mahaprabhu, especially in his final days, when he was feeling deep separation from Krishna, he used to take solace in the various poems of Chandidas, Vidyapati, and Geet Govind, that is Jayadeva Goswami. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita is mentioned. And Chandidas became such a great devotee that Mahaprabhu used to recite his poems. So this is how Maya Devi can bestow her nishkapat or akapat mercy, by which she can give shade of Krishna's lotus feet. Maya Krishna Dasi Bahir Muk Jive Dande Maya Pujile O Shubha Nahi Paye Bhande. Maya Devi is Lord Krishna's maidservant. Maya Krishna Dasi. She punishes the souls who have turned their face away from Lord Krishna. Bahirmukh Jiva Dande. By pretending to worship Maya Devi, Maya Pujila, a hypocrite will not attain true auspiciousness in this material world. O Shubha Nahi Paye Bhande. He doesn't attain auspiciousness by worshipping Maya Devi. Krishna Nama Kare E Maya Devi Tare Nishkapate Kripa Kari Loye Bhava Pare. Yet Maya Devi rewards even Mayavadis, those who chant the holy name. She helps them cross over the ocean of nescience. So, if they take, even Mayavadis who take the holy name, Maya Devi awards them by giving them liberation. And this, if you remember, we had discussed quite elaborately when we discussed Namaprad. In the Namabhasya, sorry. In Namabhasya, there is Ashraddha Namabhas and Shraddha Namabhas. And in Ashraddha Namabhas, there are these 4 divisions. Sanketa, Parihasya, Hela, Soba. And in Shraddha Namabhas, there is Chaya and Pratibimb. Chaya Namabhas is glorious. And if we chant from a Namaprad stage, if we come to Chaya Namabhas, then we can go to Shuddhanam and attain Krishna Prem. But Mayavadis chant Pratibimba Namabhas. But the potency of the holy name is so powerful that even for chanting Pratibimba Namabhas, they attain liberation. So that is the same point he is saying. Adhaiva Shruti Ninda Aparadhatyaji Aharaha Nama Sankirtan Rasemaji. Therefore, Adhaiva, avoiding the offenses of blaspheming the Vedic scriptures day after day, ahar, I swim in the nectar chanting of Lord Krishna's holy name. Nam Sankirtan Rasa Maje. So I take relish in chanting the holy names of Krishna. So now text 63 to 66 mentions the remedy of that offense. Tad aparadera pratikar. How do we have the remedy? Pramade yadapi hoy se shruti nindana anutapa kari puna se shruti vadnana. If one foolishly blasphemes the Vedic scriptures, then one should repent, feel remorse, and again offer obeisances to Vedic scriptures. Anutapakare puna se shruti vandana. Now, another way in which we commit this fourth offense, that is criticizing the Vedic scriptures, is especially not directly the scriptures, but those who follow the Karma Kanda scriptures. Especially I remember when we went to Ahobilam Yatra. In the Ahobilam Yatra, there is one Narasimha temple which is way inside the forest. And while we were trekking inside, going inside the forest, walking, it is almost 14 kilometers from below the hill. And we were trekking inside. There is also a deity of Kali Devi, where those who have still attraction for wine and flesh, they ruthlessly slaughter these animals there and they offer it there. And then they actually carry the flesh in the forest and burn the flesh in fire, and then they eat this meat. So I was observing because I was with only very few devotees in the front going ahead, walking swiftly, and many were far away behind. So I was one of the few who reached very quickly to this Narsimha temple. Now, this sacrifice of animal and all is done in some other area, not in the Narsimha temple. But after they actually literally slaughter the animal, they get that animal and take a parikrama of the Narsimha temple, although they are not allowed to go inside because this is going on since many years. The pujaris there are pure Sri Vaishnavas, but they cannot stop these forest people, local people from, at least doing the parikrama. So we had the darshan of Narsimhadev, and while I was returning back down to the hill, I observed that these people who were carrying now the flesh in their hand, they were in the forest lighting the fire and burning the flesh and then literally taking. So sometimes seeing this scene, I felt compassion for them. Because one thing is there that if you criticize them, you are doing Shastra Nindanam. Because the Shastras, those who are addicted to meat, recommends offering to Durga or Kali and, taking the remnants. Now, these people, because they are addicted to it, they are following that path. And in fact, they will get purified. Why? Because, literally they themselves were slaughtering the animals. That is a very cruel act. And they themselves were offering, and then they were carrying the flesh and then cooking it and then eating it. So slowly, those who are in these lower modes, addicted to it, they will get purified because they are following the Vedas. But if we criticize these people, then we commit what is Shruti Nindanam. We commit that Shruti Nindanam. This is a very important point. Others who are staying in the modern cities, who never visit the slaughterhouse, who just go to the hotels and order meat, which is nicely cooked and eat, in fact, they will incur a lot of sinful reactions and they will never get purified and they will go in deeper, deeper darkness. Whereas these other forest dwellers whom I mentioned, they have addiction to eating meat, but they are somehow following the Vedas by offering it in sacrifice, and then they themselves are cooking. And if you see, they themselves are doing all these acts of slaughtering the animal, offering the animal, and then cooking the meat, carrying the meat. Whereas in the modern cities, we just go to the hotel and order the items. We don't go to the slaughterhouses and actually see how the slaughter is happening. So in one sense, they are far, far civilized compared to the city people who go in the hotels and eat non-vegetarian food. And somehow, because they are following the path of Vedas, they will get purified in some lifetime or in this lifetime, we don't know. Because ultimately, they are following the path of Vedas. So we as devotees should not criticize that portion of the Vedas which recommend who are in the lower modes, those who are addicted to meat, to do sacrifices and after sacrifice to have. Whereas these other people in the city who actually eat meat in the hotels, they don't follow any of these Vedic rituals, the Karma Kanda rituals. So they are destined to the darkest regions of this material world. So this is a very important point, and that's why I wanted to mention how we can end up in committing offense. So to those who are following the lower Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas, and we might criticize those followers who are following these lower karma kanda portion of the Vedas. So if out of madness or foolishness, if we criticize the Vedic scriptures, or those who are following the karma kanda portion of the Vedas, then we should repent, feel remorse, and again offer obeisances to the Vedic scriptures. Kusama tulsi diya se shruti gane bhagavata saha sada pujibe yatane. So how one should perform this atonement, not repentance and prashchit remedy, offering flowers and tulsi. One should then regularly worship the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Vedas with great care. Kusama tulsi diya se shruti gane. The Shrutis are the Vedas and Bhagavata saha. So here it is recommended that we should also offer that to Bhagavatam. Sada pujibe yatan. With great care we should offer this. Now here there was one footnote which we did not go through, so I'll go through it now. Now this is about kapat and nishkapat mercy. In the material world, the Mayavadis worship Maya Devi and chant her names like Durga and Kali. Lord Krishna's spiritual potency is his spiritual personal potency. Maya is the shadow of that spiritual potency. So Maya's names like Durga, Kali, they are not directly the spiritual potency of the Lord. They are shadow of the spiritual potency. Gradually purifying them, Maya Devi convinces the rebellious souls who have turned their face away from Lord Krishna to turn and face him again. So this is what Maya Devi does. Maya has two kinds of mercy: sincere mercy and cheating mercy. Kapata kripa, nishkapata kripa. Even those who are worshippers of Shiva, Shiva bestows two kinds of mercy. One is called as kapata kripa and nishkapata kripa. Those who go to worship Shiva, thinking him as supreme, thinking he is the Lord of all lords, and thinking that they can fulfill all their material desires for material benedictions, he gives his kapata mercy. But those who genuinely want to know the absolute truth, who want to know the real path, even if they approach Lord Shiva, or if they are worshippers of Lord Shiva, and they genuinely want to know who is absolute truth, then Shiva is an ocean of mercy, an ocean. He is a Mahadev. He is a Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. So he will direct that devotee to a pure devotee and direct him to Krishna, because Shiva gets great pleasure when somebody becomes a devotee of Krishna, because he himself is the greatest devotee of Krishna. So like that, even Shiva has the same kind of mercy, kapata and nishkapata, as Maya Devi. Now, when she gives sincere mercy and cheating mercy, it is mentioned. When she gives sincere mercy, she gives the conditioned soul true knowledge and devotional service offered to Lord Krishna. So this is her nishkapat kripa. Just like Chandidas, directly Maya Devi spoke to him. Every day I come and offer flowers to you. You never spoke to me. Why today you are speaking to me? So then Chandidas, Maya Devi or Kali Devi, the deity, revealed that today you have got the Mahaprasad flower which was offered to my Lord, that is Krishna. Oh, till now I thought that you are the master of this material world. But today I have come to know that you have someone else as a master. Then Durga Devi revealed, yes, my master is Krishna. He is my worshipable Lord. So you also worship him. So like that, she gives true knowledge and devotional service to Lord Krishna. This is her nishkapata kripa. When she gives cheating mercy, she gives the soul temporary material pleasures. So those who have desire to enjoy temporary material pleasures. Kamaisthaista ritagyan prapadyante anya devata tam tam niyamastaya prakritya niyata swaya. When she is very merciful in this cheating way, she throws the soul into the state of merging into with impersonal Brahman. So this is also Kapata Kripa, but in that Kapat also she is very, very merciful. Then, just like these Mayavadis who chant, she might give liberation. When that happens, the soul is lost because it is a spiritual suicide for the soul. Just like committing a suicide, we completely lose our material body. Committing a spiritual suicide, like merging in the impersonal Brahman, we completely lose the pure propensity of the soul to love Krishna in devotional service. So this is her very merciful Kapata Kripa. So there is this Kapata Kripa and Nishkapata Kripa, which point was here in the footnote, which I forgot to discuss. Now, again, we'll come back to this remedy discussion, which is there in 63 to 66. So what should one do when one commits this offense? One should offer flowers and tulsi to Bhagavad and the Vedas. Now, Shastra happens, Ninda happens because of rejection of Shastra. This is one reason. Rejection of its real conclusions, but interpretation. So these Shad Darshans, other interpretations, or the Abhidha Vritti, not taking the Abhidha Vritti and going by the Lakshana Vritti. So we reject the Shastras also. That is also Shastra Ninda. And the remedy was mentioned, offer respect to the scriptures, especially Bhagavatam, the essence of all scriptures. So that was the remedy which was recommended in this verse. Text 65. Bhagavata Shruti Sara Krishna Avatar Avashya Karibe Mora Karunapar. Srimad Bhagavatam is the best of all Vedic scriptures. It is an incarnation of Lord Krishna himself. It will certainly bestow mercy without limit. That means it will bestow limitless mercy, because Srimad Bhagavatam is the best among all the scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumarto Mahan. And it is an incarnation of Lord Krishna. Krishne Swadhama Upagate Dharma Jnana Divisaha Kalo Nashta Drusham Esha Purana Arka Aduno Tita. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 3rd chapter, verse 43, it is mentioned, when Krishna is left back to his abode, he has incarnated himself in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. And when we commit, especially Shastra Nindanam, we should now beg forgiveness from the Shastra itself. The Shastra is a personified personality. Srimad Bhagavatam is, in fact, the Swarupa of the Lord. So if you have committed Shastra Nindanam, we should worship the Shastra and ask forgiveness to the Shastra. Now, we might be surprised, how the scripture will ask forgiveness and worship it. No, we should do that. In fact, as I was mentioning, Srimad Bhagavatam is a personified form of Krishna's Swarup only. In fact, the 12 cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam are compared to the different limbs of the body of the Lord in the Padma Puran. Pado, Pratamo, Dvitiyo, like that. There is a verse in the Padma Puran. Now, in Odisha, there is a temple where the deity itself is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Interesting. And the deity which is worshipped inside the temple is the Bhagavatam. The worship is done to the Bhagavatam, the offering is done to the Bhagavatam. So the deity itself is the Bhagavatam. So that is how exalted is the Srimad Bhagavatam. So especially it is recommended that one should worship the Bhagavatam here, which is the best of the scriptures. There is a footnote. Srimad Bhagavatam is the best of all Vedic scriptures. That is why Vishwanath Chandra Thakur and Jiva Goswami, they prove that it is Chakravarti Samrat. It is the emperor among all the scriptures. It is the topmost Praman. Persons whose auspicious day is late in coming may speak harsh words to criticize Srimad Bhagavatam. That is their unfortunate nature. So, we should not also criticize the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now the last verse, text 66. Haridasa pada raja bharasayahar namachinta manihar galayatahar. One who has placed his faith in the dust of the lotus feet of Haridas' feet. Haridasa pada raja bharosa. Bharosa means faith. Wears the jeweled necklace of Lord Krishna's holy name. Nama Chintamani Har. He is wearing the Nama Chintamani Har around his neck. So we should place our faith in the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur, and it is as good as we are wearing the Nama Chintamani Har of the Krishna's holy name. So that's how we end the 7th chapter, which is Shruti Shastra Nindanam. So let us now today begin few verses to discuss the 8th chapter, and tomorrow we will complete the 8th chapter also. So let us take up the 8th chapter. Any questions, any clarifications you have till now what we discussed? Virendra Yadav Prabhuji has a question. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is it recommended to keep Srimad Bhagavatam in altar and worship?
Well, it depends on the purity of the faith. I told you that there is a temple there, and it is well known. Srimad Bhagavatam is worshipable for us as Krishna is worshipable. And we worship the Srimad Bhagavatam by regularly studying the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we should treat the Srimad Bhagavatam as we treat the deities. So it's up to you. It depends on you. And there is non-difference in one sense. So till now, I don't know about any devotees or any other temple where Srimad Bhagavatam is kept as a deity. But in Orissa, there is one temple. That is the exalted position of Srimad Bhagavatam. That was the point I wanted to emphasize, and that's why I mentioned. But we can worship the Srimad Bhagavatam as we worship Krishna by studying the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay?
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much.
So, any other questions anyone has? About till now, this last topic which we discussed about the 4th offense. Then we will take few verses from the 8th chapter now. Now from here onwards, the discussions are smaller and we can quickly go through them. There's not much philosophical discussions. Tata artavado hari namni kalpanam. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination and to give some interpretation on the holy name. First is to understand or to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. And having this imaginative understanding, we give some interpretation to the holy name. So these are these two things in this interpretation of the holy name. Jaya Gaura Gadadhar Shri Radha Madhava Jaya Gaura Leela Stali Janavi Vaishnava. Glory to Shri Gaura Gadadhar. Glory to Shri Shri Radha Madhav. Glory to the places of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Glory to Yamuna. Glory to the Vaishnavas. Harinama Artavad Kalpana Chintana Panchama Parada Prabhu Shri Sachinandana. Haridas Thakur said, O Lord, O son of Sachi, now I will describe the fifth offense to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination and to give some interpretation on the holy name. So 1 to 2 text is the introduction and the invocation. There is a footnote. To think that the glories of the holy name are imagination is an idea opposed to all scriptures. Now, Eka Krishna Namalaya Sarva Papa Shaya. This is also for us not, we cannot fathom this. How just by chanting one name of Krishna, all the sins are destroyed. And it is mentioned that just by taking Namabhas, we can attain liberation. How is it possible, we might think? That is why when Haridas Thakur, in that assembly of Govardhan Majumdar and Hiranya Majumdar, spoke about the glories of the holy name, there was Gopal Chakravarti. He said, Jnani is for many, many lifetimes practice tapasya and take sannyas, and they cannot attain liberation. And you're telling just by mere chanting of the holy name, you can attain liberation? So he did not have the faith in the glories of the holy name. So this is very important that when we, especially as Vaishnavas, read scriptures which explain the glories of the holy name, although it doesn't fit in our tiny brains and in our imagination, we should accept the statements of the Shastras and not consider, oh, how is this possible? It cannot, it will become Kopamandak Nyaya then. So that is why we should be very, very clear. The glories of the holy name that were written in the scriptures are not real. So this is what, we say, oh, these glories of the holy name are imagination. They are not real. They are exaggerations given to attract people to the holy name. So this is the purpose. Maybe they are not real, just to attract people to take up holy name. Like that is why these are given.Ese are not their true glories. A person who speaks words like these commits the offense of thinking the holy names of thinking of the glories of the holy name, imagination. So I guess now we can get a clear idea when we commit this offense. The glories of karma and jnana written in the Karma Kanda and the Jnana Kanda part of the Vedas are all exaggerations given to attract people to karma and jnana. So actually exaggerations are in those parts of the Karma Kanda and the Jnana Kanda portions. Because somehow they have to be attracted to those paths. Otherwise, they will not gradually elevate. But the glories of the holy name are not like that. The glories given about the holy name of the devotional part, they are not meant to attract people. No, they are actually true. To think the glories of the holy name are imagination is an offense. I hope with this footnote, where and how exactly we commit this offense is clear. Now, text 3 to 10 give the glories of the holy name. First, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to speak about the glories of the holy name. The glory of the holy name, Nama Mahima. Smriti kahe helana shradaya namalay Krishna tare kripa kari hoye na sadai. The Vedic scriptures say, Smriti kahe, kind Lord Krishna gives his mercy to anyone who has faith or even with contempt chants the holy name. Helana shradaya namale Krishna tara kripa. So Krishna gives his mercy. Just imagine what is the heart of Krishna. that one who doesn't have even Shraddha, faith, but he takes the holy name, Krishna bestows his mercy. And we saw this in the discussion in Namabas. There is Ashraddha Namabas and Shraddha Namabas. In Ashraddha Namabas, there is what is called as Sanket. Sanket means we are indicating not the Lord while taking the name, but to someone else. And in Sanket, there is two. One is, we discussed that, if you remember in the slides, I will just show the slides. It's a long time back. We discussed this when we chanted the, yeah. In Ashraddha Namabas, there is Sanket, Parihas, Soba, and Hela. And then in Sanket, there is the name of Vishnu intends to refer someone else and his material. Ajamil chanted. He did not refer it to Vishnu, but to his son. And not aware it is the name of Vishnu. They don't know only that what name they are taking is the name of the Lord. So in Sanket also, Ajamil indicated to his son and Vishnu Dutas came. See the mercy of Krishna. And the Yavanas, they say Haram, and actually they don't know that in Haram there is Lord Ram's name, and Lord Ram is actually Bhagavan. They, out of contempt, they take that name indicating a hog, and they attain liberation. So this is the inconceivable power in Krishna's mercy and Krishna's holy name. This is the inconceivable mercy and power in the Krishna's holy name. So one should not think that, oh, this is all exaggeration of the glories of the holy name, or this is all imaginative. This is not true. So we should not commit this kind of a offense, especially with the glories of the holy name. ना मेरा सदृश ज्ञान नाही के निर्मल, ना मेरा सदृश व्रत नाही के प्रबल. There is no knowledge as pure as the holy name. There is no vow as powerful as the holy name. ना मेरा सदृश ध्यान नाही ए जगत, ना मेरा सदृश फल नाही कोनो मते. There is no meditation like the holy name in this world. No other process gives a fruit like the holy name. Na mera sadrisha tyag kono rupa noy, na mera sadrisha sama kabu nai hoy. There is no renunciation greater than the holy name. Nothing will ever be equal to the holy name. Na mera sadrisha punya nahi ei samsar, na mera sadrisha gati na dheki vichar. There is no piety like the holy name in this world. I cannot think of any goal greater than the holy name. Nama I parama mukti, nama uccha gati, nama I parama shanti, nama uccha sthiti. The holy name is the highest liberation. The holy name is the highest destination. The holy name is the greatest peace, shanti. The holy name is the highest abode, Uchchasthiti. Nama I Parama Bhakti, Nama Shuddhamati, Nama I Parama Priti, Nama Parasmriti. The holy name is the greatest devotional service. Nama I Parama Bhakti. The holy name is the purest inclination. Nama Shuddhamati. Nama I Parama Priti. The holy name is the highest love. Nama Parasmriti. The holy name is the greatest meditation. Smriti means to remember, meditation. Nama I Karana Tattva, Nama Sarva Prabhu, Parama Aradhya Nama, Guru Rupe Vibhu. The holy name is the supreme creator. The holy name is the master of all. That's why we address Nama as Prabhu. Nama Prabhu is. He's a person, in fact, and he can bestow the mercy. And if he commit offense, we commit offense to Nam Prabhu and he becomes displeased and we don't get the mercy. Parama Aradhya Nam, the holy name is the most worshipable object. Guru Rupe Vibhu, and acts as the supreme spiritual shelter. So here, Nama Mahima in text 3 to 10, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining. So here I have in the slide mentioned name as glorified is in the scripture. The supreme method of all goals, both material and spiritual. It gives the best result. I hope I'm sharing the screen. Yeah. It gives the best result. It gives the best form of cultivation of knowledge. It is the best vrata or austerity, usually in the highest result. It is the best form of dhyan or meditation. It is the best means of renunciation. It is the highest peace. It is the best way to get Krishna's mercy. It is the highest abode, Golok. It is the highest love, Prem. And it is non-different from Krishna. So this is about the Nam, glory. So first, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, before discussing the imagination offense, what we might commit, he is first speaking about the glory, and we should have faith in this glory, which all the Vedas speak about the holy name. Now, in verses 12 to 16, how we come about in sorry, there is only one more verse here I forgot, that is verse 11, that the best holy name is the name of Krishna. Krishna Nama Sarvattamata. Sahasra Vishnu Namer Tulya Hoya Eka Rama Nam Tina Rama Nama Tulya Eka Krishna Nam. 1,000 holy names of Lord Vishnu equal one holy name of Lord Ram, and 3 holy names of Lord Krishna Ram equal one name of Lord Krishna. So we could understand, or we can understand from this verse. This is also there is a similar verse in the Puranas also mentioning this, that if we take 1,000 names of Vishnu, it is equal to one name of Lord Ram. And if we take 3 names of Lord Ram, it is equal to one name of Krishna. So now my question is, if we take one name of Krishna, then how many names of Vishnu it is? Raise your hands, those who would like to answer. If we take one name of Krishna, how many names of Vishnu it is? Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, 3,000.
Yes, 3,000 names of Vishnu. So that's how we should understand the glory of taking the holy name of Krishna. So I will refer to the discussion in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it is mentioned by Mahaprabhu himself about this. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to South India tour, and he meets a Brahmana who is taking the name of Lord Ram, and coming in touch with Mahaprabhu, he starts chanting the name of Krishna. So there is mention, this conversation, Rama Rameti, Rama Rameti, Rameti, Rame Rama Manorame, Sahasra Nama Vistulyam, Rama Nama Varanane. Lord Shiva, this is the Praman from the Brahad Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra from the Uttarakhand of the Padma Puran. Lord Shiva addressed to his wife Durga, O Varanana, Vara Anana. Anana means face and Vara means best face or more lovely faced woman. Varanana. I chant the holy name of Ram, 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 Rama, Rameti, Rameti, and does enjoy this beautiful sound. Rama, Rame, Manorame. This holy name of Ramchandra is equal to 1000 holy names of Lord Vishnu. Sahasra Nama Tulyam Ramanama. So it is equal to 1000 names of Vishnu. So this is mentioned in. Then in the next verse it is mentioned Sahasranam Nam Punyanam Trir Avritya Tu Yat Phalam Ekavritya Tu Krishnasya Namekam Tad Prayachati. The pious results derived from chanting the 1000 holy names of Vishnu. Sahasra Nama Punyam Tri Avritta Yat Phalam. 3 Avrit means 3000 times. 3 times if you chant Vishnu Sahasranam can be attained by only one utterance of the holy name of Krishna. Eka Vritta tu Krishnasya Namekam Tat Prachati. It gives that same result. So from this we can understand the potency of taking the name of Krishna. So my question now to all of you here is that we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, why should we chant the name of Hare and Rama? Just chant Krishna, because if you chant Krishna, 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 we can get more benefit. There is Rama, So what does that Rama indicate in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Anyone would like to answer? Anyone would like to answer about it? In the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Rama, the Acharyas explain, that refers to Krishna himself. Just like Radhika Raman. So the Rama in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra refers to Krishna. And the Hare is Hari in a vocative sense called Hare. It is addressing actually the internal potency of Krishna, that is Srimati Radharani. So all these 3 words, Hare, Krishna and Rama, are all in the form of address to actually Krishna and his internal potency, Srimati Radharani. So that's why the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is very, very potent. And we can now understand the glories of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So I will stop here at text 11. Tomorrow we will try to complete this chapter. Not much deep discussions are there. Some important points and considerations are there in the verses, which I will take up tomorrow and end this discussion. And we'll try to finish this chapter. Any questions and clarifications up till now? What we discussed about chapter 8, about interpretation of the holy name? Okay, so we'll stop here. Shri Harinam Chintamani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna.